Hey friends, it's Miss Brooke and welcome to story time today. I am so excited you're here. Thanks for stopping by. Well, I have been hearing that a lot of you have gone back to school already. Is that true? Is it already back to school season? Oh my goodness, time is just flying by. Well, I thought today we could read a special back to school book with our friend Curious George. I am so excited. So get all cozied up and let's jump into today's story time, okay? Okay, so today's book is Curious George and his first day of school. And it's by Margret and H.A. Okay, let's see what Curious George does on his first day of school. I wonder if it's anything like yours, maybe. This is George. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. Today, George was so excited he could barely eat his breakfast. You have a big day ahead of you, George, said his friend, the man with the yellow hat. Oh, whoa, look at this. George is going to school. It was a big day for George. It was the first day of school. And now he had been invited to be a special helper. George and his friend walked together to the schoolyard. Some of the children were nervous, but George, he could not wait for the fun to begin. In the classroom, George's friend introduced him to Mr. Apple. Look, Mr. Apple's on the board. Thank you for inviting George to school today, the man with the yellow hat said to the teacher. Then he waved goodbye and said, "Have a good day, George. I'll be back to pick you up after school." Aww. The children were excited to have a monkey in class. George is going to be our special helper, Mr. Apple told them. I wonder if Mr. Apple is their teacher. And what a helper he was. At story time, George held the book. And at math time, the children could count on George. Whoa, they're counting his fingers. And at recess, George made sure that everyone had a ball and a well-balanced snack. Aw, how nice of him. He's a good friend. After lunch, Mr. Apple got out the paints and brushes. George saw red, yellow, and blue paint. 3 colors were not very many. George was curious. Could he help make more colors? Can you make more colors from the 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue? You're right, you can. Alright, let's see what kind of colors George is gonna make. Ooh, first George mixed red and blue to make purple. And then George mixed red and yellow to make orange. And then George mixed yellow and blue to make green. And finally, George mixed all the colors to make, what did he make? Let's see. A big mess. Oh no. The children thought the mess was funny, but Mr. Apple did not. "Oh dear," he said. "We are going to need something to clean this up. Well, everyone please sit quietly while I look." Oh goodness, George. What a silly monkey. George did not mean to make such a mess, and he certainly did not want to sit quietly. He wanted to help. It was his job, after all. So George had an idea. In the hallway, George found a closet. In the closet, he found a bucket, and in the bucket, he found just what he needed. I wonder what that is. Let's see. It was a mop. That's silly George. George was on his way back to the classroom when he heard somebody yell, "Stop! Stop! What are you doing with my mop?" It was the janitor running after George. "Stop! Stop! No running in the halls!" The principal ran after the janitor, but George was going too fast to stop. He grabbed the doorway and swung inside, and these pages are sticking together. Splosh! Uh-oh. The bucket tipped, the mop dropped, and George slid across the floor. Now the mess was even bigger. Mr. Apple looked surprised. The principal frowned. The janitor just shook his head. And George? Well, poor George. He felt terrible. Maybe he wasn't such a good helper after all. Oh, poor George. He really just wanted to help, huh? The children felt terrible too. They didn't like to see George looking so sad. They thought he was a great helper, so now they wanted to help him. So the children all lent a hand and some feet. You can see they have feet. I mean, they have sponges on their feet and on their hands too. So nice. They're all working together. And before anyone knew it, the mess was gone. "That little monkey sure is helpful," the janitor said. "It looks like Mr. Apple has a whole class full of helpers now," the principal added. At the end of the day, when George's friend arrived to pick him up, Mr. Apple said, "Thank you for all your help, George. We hope you will come help us again." The children cheered, and they hoped George would come again too. Aw, ended up being a good day, huh? George waved goodbye to his new friends. What a great day it had been. He could not wait to come back to school. The end. Well, friends, thank you so much for coming and listening to story time today. I am so happy that you came by. It's always so good to see you. Well, if you really enjoyed today's book, Curious George's First Day of School, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and then I know that you enjoyed it. And maybe you can tell me about your first day of school or first couple days of school. What was your favorite activity? What was your favorite book that you've read with your teacher? Did you make some new friends? I would love to hear about your school experience. You can always email me at learnwithmissbrooke@gmail.com, and I can't wait to read your emails, and I will talk to you all soon. Okay, well, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy back to school. Bye, friends.